So today we are going to revise the second method through which we can form a compound by radicals, right? Okay, in the last session we have seen that how we are able to form a compound by radicals. So in the last session I told you that we have to remember the two things when we have to form a compound by radicals, right? First of all, I explained you that what is radical, right? When a single atom or a group of atom who is having a charge on it, they are radicals. Who are the radicals? Radicals can be a single atom or a group of atom who is having a charge on it, whether positive or negative, they are radicals. Right everyone? Okay. Then we have seen that how we can form a compound by radicals. How we can form a compound by radicals. In that we have seen that we have to remember the two rules, the two things which is very important, that only and only a positively charged radicals will combine, and the second thing you have to remember that their charges should cancel each other, right? In this way we have seen in the last session that how we can form a radical compound, right? Okay, let's revise. I'm giving you the few examples of this, okay, to remember it. After that, in this session I will tell you the second method, okay, through which we can form a compound by radicals. And yes, of course, I told you that is much easier method than this cancelling the charges, right? Okay, so let's see first of all the few examples of the radical compound, okay, by cancelling their charges by this method. So come to this, like for example, let's take sodium. So sodium is having one positive charge, all you know. This time we will take hydroxyl group, OH minus group, right? You can see the positively charged radicals are here, a positively charged radicals. Now the radicals charges can cancel each other. Now positive and cancel each other, right? Sorry, positive and negative can cancel each other, right? What you will get? NaOH, sodium hydroxide, right? Okay, let's see some more. Like sodium is having positive charge and nitrate. This time we will take negative radical, nitrate. Alright? Okay. Now these charges can cancel each other, positive and negative can cancel each other. What compound you will get? Sodium nitrate, NaNO3. Right everyone? Okay, let's see one more, that is iron. Here this time I have taken iron. Iron is having charge +3. Understood? Okay, after that let's take here sulfate group, SO4, 2 negative. Right? Okay, this one is little bit difficult, but if you will use your mind, you can do it very easily. Okay, tell me one thing, is +3 charges can cancel this 2 negative charges? No. +3 charge, 2 negative charge can't cancel each other, right? Can't cancel each other. So what we have to do now? How to cancel these charges? Because I told you that only when you will cancel the charges, then you are able to form a radical compound, right everyone? So how we can cancel it? Okay, let's take one more sulfate group, SO4. It is having one more negative, 2 negative charge, right? Charge is fixed, you can't increase or decrease the charges. Okay, let's take one more sulfate group, SO4, 2 negative charge. Now take one more iron, which is having one more +3 charges, right? Now you can see here 6 positive charge and 6 negative charge, 2, 2, 2, right? 6 negative charge and 6 positive charge can cancel each other. Okay, right? What you will get? You will get a compound Fe2, iron is here, right? So Fe2 and SO4. How many sulfate group is there? 3. 1, 2. So one sulfated group is this, then the second, and this one is the third group, right? So how many sulfate group is there? 1, 2 and 3. So you have to write out of the bracket 3. What you will get? Iron sulfate, iron Fe, SO4 whole thrice. Alright. So this is how we can form a radical compound by cancelling their charges, right? Now let's see the second method which I told you, to transpose their valencies. Let's see that how we can form a compound by transposing the valencies of the radical, right? Okay, so as we are doing in the binary compound, the same process we will follow here, but you know, in the binary compound, the two element which transposing their valencies to each other, okay, means what you are doing, first of all you are writing the symbols of the element, then you are writing the valencies of the element, then you are transposing the valencies to each other, then you can get a binary compound. Like this we are doing, right? In the same process, the same thing we will do here in this also, by forming a compound by radicals, all right? But the good thing is this, that we don't have to learn the valency of the radicals. In the binary compound we have to learn the valencies of the element, right? But here we don't have to learn the valencies of the radicals. Then how we will come to know that what is the valency of that particular radical? So we will find out this, all right? How? Let's see. A very common example like sodium. Sodium is having one positive charge, right? Okay, you can see here that sodium is having one positive charge, right? Only what you have to do, if you have to find out the valency of the radical, if you want to know the valency of the radical, then only you have to see the charges. Count the number of charges, whatever the charges is there, okay, that is the valency of that radical. Only you have to ignore the positive and negative sign, all right? Like this Na plus, the sodium radical is having one positive charge, so you will write here 1. Ignore this positive sign, all right? Let's take some more example like SO4. SO4 is having 2 negative charge, right? So you can see here that 2 negative charge is here. So negative sign, this minus sign, you have to ignore. How many charges it has? The sulfate group 2. So valency of this sulfate is 2, all right? Okay, let's see some more like iron. Iron is having plus 3 charges, right? So plus sign you have to ignore. Count the number of charge, and that is the valency of this iron radical, all right? So how many? 3. 3 positive charges there. So only you have to count the charges. You have to ignore the sign, all right? So the valency of this iron is 3. Understood? Okay, let's see some more. Like hydroxyl group. Hydroxyl group is having one negative charge. So valency of this hydroxyl group is 1 only. Ignore this negative sign. Only count the charge. Whatever the positive and negative charge is there, you have to count it. You have to ignore the sign, positive and negative sign. All right? Okay. So in this way, we can find out the valency of the radical, right? After that, just write the radicals, write their valency and transposes. You can get it easily, your radical compound. All right? Okay. So let's see the first one like Na plus and OH minus. A positively charged radicals I have taken here, right? Positive and negative radical. Now, tell me the valency of this sodium. That is 1, because it is having one charge, one positive charge. So you have to ignore the plus sign here. Okay, what is the valency? 1. Then come to the OH minus. How many charges there? 1, right? Ignore the minus sign. Only you have to count it the charge. So valency of this hydroxyl group is 1. Now, interchange their valencies or transpose their valencies to each other. What you will get? You will get NaOH, sodium hydroxide. Right, everyone? Okay, let's see some more. Like sodium nitrate. Let's take it here. Sodium nitrate, NaNO3. One positive charge. So only 1 is the valency of sodium nitrate. Valency 1 because it carry only one negative charge. All right. Okay. Now transpose their valencies. What you will get? You will get NaNO3, sodium nitrate. All right. Okay. Let's see the sodium carbonate. Na is having one positive charge and carbonate is having 2 negative charge. Right. Okay. Valency of the sodium is 1 because it carry only one positive charge. Carbonate valency is 2 because it carry 2 negative charge. So ignore the sign and write it only count the number of charges. Okay, that is 2. So write the number of charge, that is 2 here. And interexchange or transpose their valencies. What you will get? You will get Na2 CO3 1. So 1 is negligible, we are not writing 1. Alright, and you will get compound sodium carbonate. Right everyone? Okay, you feel the difficulty in doing the iron sulfate compound, right? By cancelling the charges. That the same compound we will do by this method also, but in much easier way. Alright, so okay, so iron sulfate I said, right? Iron sulfate. So FeSO4. Okay. I told you the charge of iron is +3 and sulfate charges 2 negative. Right? That we have done. Remember this? That we have done by cancelling the charges. Okay, the same compound we are going to form by transposing the valencies. So tell me the valency of this iron radical. That is 3 only because it possesses 3 charge, right? Okay, tell me the valency of this sulfate. That is 2 only, right? Sulfate valency is 2 because it possesses only 2 negative charge. So you have to ignore the plus and minus sign and write it the number of charges here, and that is the valency of that particular radical, right? So then here it is 2. Now interexchange and transpose their valencies. What you will get? You will get Fe2 SO4 thrice, SO4 whole thrice, right? What you will get? Iron sulfate. Understood now? So this is the second method through which we can form a compound by radical. Earlier we have seen that we can form a radical compound by cancelling their charges, right? And in this method we have seen that we can form a radical compound by interexchange or by transposing the valencies to each other. Alright, so these are the two methods through which we can form a radical compound. Remember this, practice it. Thank you.